Now, the Trump administration has made immigration a top priority here in its first 100 days. CBS Morning's co-host Tony Dokoupil spoke exclusively with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem at the U.S.-Mexico border. And listen here as she touts the shift in immigration since Trump returned to office.
If you talk to all of these agents that have been down here for years, they say it's night and day difference from where we were a year ago, that they were overwhelmed and with illegals and people that were turning themselves in because they knew that they would be released into the United States undocumented with no consequences.
And you can see more from Tony's exclusive interview tomorrow on CBS Mornings. All right, President Trump's changes to U.S. immigration policy has resulted in a slew of legal challenges. We've been reporting on this for weeks. The administration now faces 115 lawsuits on immigration alone. That's more than a third of the 307 active lawsuits against them, and more than any other issue. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman joins me here in Studio 55 with more on this. Katrina, every day you're following a different thread because there's so much. Help us understand how these cases have boiled down to the administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act and how that's really a core piece of their main argument.
So, Errol, the Alien Enemies Act is a wartime authority. It had never been used in peacetime before, but President Trump invoked it to deport alleged members of Tren de Aragua. That's a Venezuelan gang, and so we saw those planes that were sent to El Salvador. It's led to all of these hundreds of men who have been left in prison there, but there are a number of issues here. For one, there is the lack of due process, and even the Supreme Court has said that notice has to be given to these people. They have to be given an opportunity for a hearing to contest whether they are, in fact, a member of one of these gangs. And just last week, the Supreme Court also prevented the Trump administration from sending more men to El Salvador under this law. In fact, a few days ago, a judge in Texas also deemed it inappropriate. There was a couple that had been detained under the Alien Enemies Act. He said that this is not an appropriate use of this authority, and he ordered them released, Errol. So the real issues here are, one, can we even use the Alien Enemies Act in this situation? It's supposed to apply to a foreign government. It's being used in relation to a gang. It's supposed to be when there's a predatory incursion or an invasion on the U.S. And then this lack of due process, which is really a fundamental issue.
Now, that's, I guess you could put that under one category for some of the people who have been detained or deported. And there's another category when we think of names like Ammud Khalil, who was arrested at Columbia University, apparently for things having to do with his protests on campus. Bring us up to speed on what's happening with his case and what category that would be in.
Yes, and this is a little-known statute that was used in the case of Ammud Khalil. Essentially, Secretary of State Marco Rubio decided that his presence in the U.S. is adverse to U.S. foreign policy interest, and this has now been used in a number of cases related to students, Errol. But for Ammud Khalil in particular, an immigration judge has decided that he could be deported from the United States. So his legal team is currently trying to prevent that from happening. Last week, they filed for different forms of relief to keep him here, so that could be asylum, withholding of removal, a way to protect him from being removed from this country where, very importantly, he has a wife who just had a baby a week ago. Most recently, it came to light that ICE didn't have a warrant when they arrested Ammud Khalil, but a judge actually just yesterday decided that she will not terminate the deportation case on that basis. So there's going to be another in-person hearing in his case on May 22nd. There's also an effort in federal court to get him released. So on many fronts, they're trying to prevent him from being deported from this country, but an immigration judge for now says that he can be.
Really remarkable, but you've helped us understand how this administration is using existing laws in different ways to help execute its policy. Katrina Kaufman, thank you so much.
Great to
see you.